What's going on, everybody? It's your boys over Nowadays off DFS, here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for, so we got a 6-game slate. Yep, 6-game NBA slate. Hopefully last night, first night of the year, you guys did pretty decent. If you definitely went ahead and you played Giannis, I know you definitely had a good night. Nonetheless, my night, it was okay. I could have did better with the value plays that I personally put in myself. I went ahead and I fell for the Kevin Knox value. He didn't do too hot, but everyone else, honestly, to round out the lineup, Bradley Beal, Nurkic, Giannis. It was a decent plays altogether, but I didn't put it together well enough for myself. So hopefully you guys were able to cash. I know I've seen some comments in regards to some of the plays that everyone was on, and I do hope that you guys were able to cash out. Nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna try to keep this train rolling and keep it going into the year, and we're gonna go ahead and get it started with today. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content putting out. Today is Taco Tuesday over on PrizePicks, so I will have a list of props, and I am going to do a video going over a couple of prop plays I will be on for today, especially taking advantage of the tacos. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And drop a like on the video if it helps you win some money, or if you're just purely enjoying the content and what I'm putting out over here on the channel. It definitely means a lot to me, and it definitely helps get me out there to other people so where they can enjoy this content too as well. All right, so going over to the injury report like we always do. Over here, Vooch is still going to be out, so we will have Andre Drummond in the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid, he is expected to be back today. I got to do a little bit more digging, make sure he's not going to be on a minutes limit or anything like that. But of course, same old starters. I would be surprised maybe if they still start Marcus Morris, because I know Nick Batum, he's back, he's good to go, so that'll be interesting. And of course, Melton, he's going to be out, so Kelly Oubre, he will still be in the starting lineup. His minutes have been fluctuating up and down, but that was a lot with Joel Embiid being out, so maybe he might play a little bit better now that you got the full starters and the full allotment back. Over here for Brooklyn, Dorian Finney-Smith expects to play. No other real news to worry about because all those players have been out for quite some time. For the Pelicans, Trey Murphy, he is a game-time decision. We do need to know if Trey Murphy is going to be in or out, because if he's out, we've seen last game that opened up definitely some room and some minutes for players like Najee Marshall. We did get to see him play like about 20 plus minutes, more than his normal 15, 16 so minutes. So definitely would be something I want to pay attention to. And then Matt Ryan's still out. Boston, no news to really report over here for Boston. They're all good to go. Same thing for the Thunder. They're good to go. For San Antonio Spurs, Wemby still on that minutes limit. Zach Collins, he's going to be out. So interesting to see how this game is going to go, especially going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. But it's a team we can attack at the center position, so might could be a game we can get back onto to Wemby. But nonetheless, this should be a blowout spot for John Morant. Like, Josh should be able to go out here and have his way against a soft San Antonio Spurs matchup. The Orlando Magic taking on the Golden State Warriors. Fultz is a game time decision. He might finally be back, and even if Fultz is back, fully expect for him to come off the bench, and that would just cut into minutes for players like Gary Harris, for Cole Anthony, things like that. Their rotation, they're pretty deep at the guard position, honestly. But definitely something just to keep note on. I don't think it'll affect too much of the stars in regards to Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, who have been playing really well with Fultz being out. So wouldn't expect too much. Golden State Warriors, it came out yesterday that Steve Kerr, he said he's going to stick with the starting lineup that he rolled out last game. Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jonathan Kuminga, and Tracy Jackson Davis. Really think that's really good, especially for Jackson Davis being put into the starting lineup. Really great player. And same thing for Kuminga. Both of those guys finally getting some burn and run. Kuminga, he's been doing pretty decent in the starting role, so definitely something to take note of right there. And then for the Charlotte Hornets, they played last night. Lost, of course, going up against the Denver Nuggets. They play again tonight. Terry Rozier, he missed last night. Game time decision. Definitely be interested to see if he'll be in or out for tonight. Mark Williams, I'm pretty sure he's doubtful again with that back. Franklin Ntilikina out. Gordon Hayward out. LaMelo Ball, he's progressing, but not anything to where he's going to be playing. And then for the Kings, we have no news to worry about over here for the Kings. They did make a change in the starting lineup last game, and they started Chris Duarte at the two-guard position. So Kevin Huerter, who's been playing like dog shit and trash, they finally moved him to the bench. So Chris Duarte should be in the starting lineup once again. I would expect it again. Definitely something that we want to pay attention to. And depending on what his price is, we might actually be able to get some value right there in this game, because, we're going to want to get something from this game. All right. Heading over to DraftKings, decided to play the most on. If you guys don't have a DK account and you want one, definitely check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. All right, before I even get into the breakdown, I'm gonna go ahead and do the question that I always ask. So far, your first looking at the slate, who do you think is the main stud that stands out to you on the slate? I had some comments last night. One person said they felt like Damian Lillard last night was a really standout and good play, especially going up against the Indiana Pacers. That he definitely could go out there and have a pretty decent night. Nonetheless, Dame, he went out there last night and he dropped. I'm about to pull it up right now. He dropped 29.2 fantasy points. So it still was the Giannis game out there. In a sense, Giannis, he went out there, he dropped 77.5 fantasy points. So, like I said, if you had Giannis, then you definitely did pretty well in that aspect, in that spot. But another comment was Jakob, and he went out there, and with Precious Achiuwa being on, I definitely do believe that he is stepping up in that sense and getting those minutes and looked pretty good, double last night once again. So, definitely interesting thing to keep track of and to note. All right, so heading over here to looking at it, the Chicago Bulls starting out. Interesting is going to be the best word I could describe this. This is technically one of those back-to-backs. We just seen them play December the 30th. So a couple of days off since the last played. I'll say DeRozan with Vooch and Levine being out, he's still been pretty consistent in regards to what he's gone out there and done. I don't think Embiid being back affects him too much necessarily. Decent spot position once again. They give up pretty decent fantasy points to opposing small forward, power forward, depending on what role he's going to actually slide into. Andre Drummond is going to be the one I really want to focus on and look at over here because I want to play Drummond, but at the same time, you're going up against Embiid. I know that this should be definitely a physical matchup that should favor Drummond getting those minutes out there in a sense. He's going to play minutes regardless just because, of course, they're down without Vooch. He should, as long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, unlike in this game, he should be able to go out there and play his 30-plus minutes. Is he going to go out there and give us another 50-plus game? I'm not too sure that'll be the case, but I do like the upside for Drummond. Don't mind him. But with Embiid being back, it is going to make me tail caution because we do know Embiid, he is a foul hunter. He does like to get you into those ticky-tacky fouls so he can get to the line because that's where he gets a lot of his points from. But Drummond, I don't hate it. Opposing centers have done decent going up against the 76ers, even with Embiid being there, and of course with him being out going against Paul Reed and Mo Bamba. Kobe White, the kid, he's been up and down. Last game going up against him, he played 40 minutes, only gave us 31 fantasy points. Seems like the train might have cooled off just a little bit, back-to-back or consistent 30-plus games, at least 4 out of his last 5 games. So I'm not going to say it's not a good play. Decent spot. Not going to hate it if you go there. Patrick Williams, I'm not going to be on him today. Last game, 33 minutes, dropped 20.75 fantasy points. The matchup to me isn't really going to be the favorable one for him. If I do take a stab at anything, this is a GPP play right here. Ayo Dosunmu off the bench. We do know if Kobe struggles, if Patrick Williams struggles, anything like that, they'll pull him. And sometimes we'll end up seeing Ayo get a chunk of minutes out there. And it could be one of those cases like going up against Atlanta. 35 minutes, drop 40.75 fantasy points. I'm not going to say it's going to happen. I think more around the 25-ish to 28 fantasy points will be more in his realm, depending on how Kobe White, Patrick, Caruso, they go out there and do. But I don't hate as a possibility. Now, if you think that Drummond gets himself into foul trouble, then we are going to see Terry Taylor go out there and get, I give him at least 15 minutes. He is going to have to back up Drummond either way, how you look at it. I don't see the Bulls being able to go small in the case where they'll put Patrick Williams at the center position or something like that. I don't see that being the case here today if Drummond gets himself into foul trouble because you're going to need a center to go out there and be able to guard Embiid. Otherwise, Embiid is literally going to go out there and just eat all day long, depending on his minutes load and how many minutes he's actually going to play, which I'm going to actually check that in a second. But all in all, over here for the Bulls, not too many things stick out to me over here for them. Now, going over here to the 76ers, Embiid, he'll be back for action, remove injury tag, blah, 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 missed the last 4 games, Paul Reed, cool. So I don't see anything saying in regards to minute limit or anything like that. We do know before Embiid went down with that injury, the dude was beasting, 60-plus fantasy point game in 5 straight games. One of those games was going up against the Bulls where he played 37 minutes, dropped 71 fantasy points, and that should have been with Vooch out there on the court in that game. Now, he missed the last game that they played on December 30th, of course, like we said. So if Embiid's going to be full go, no limit, no minute limitation, I don't mind going to Embiid just because the matchup, even though it's going up against Andre Drummond, opposing centers, still, Paul Reed went out there in that last game, dropped 34 fantasy points against Drummond. So it's not like centers can't have their way and still have a decent game, even with a better, I say, defensive center out there going up against them. Miles Turner dropped 36 fantasy points going up against them. So I don't really hate the matchup for Embiid at all. Just with the usage rate that this dude has, the fact that he was averaging, 34, 35 points a game, still, You need that MVP caliber type player. I don't hate, don't mind it right there for him. Now everyone else, their prices are just a little bit too much for me. With Embiid coming back, that usage, the scoring, all that stuff, all that kind of diminishes for everyone else out here. Now, of course, with Melton going down, and in those couple games that he was out there, he was averaging, I give him about, we'll say about 12, 13 points in his time out there. With Kelly Oubre being slid to that 2 guard position, with Melton being down and out, maybe I could take a stab at Kelly at 5'8", would be the only other player I would really have some interest in. But with Embiid back, I don't really have too much interest in Tobias Harris. Yeah, he dropped a pretty good couple of games with Embiid out, and then of course before Embiid went down, he was kind of rolling already in a sense. But I don't see a need to go to Tobias. He does have a decent matchup against Patrick Williams and whoever else they put at that power forward position, or small forward, depending on which spot he's gonna actually slide into for the day. And then Tyrese Maxey, 9K. I really don't want to pay that for Maxey. Really let me down in those games without Embiid out there. So not someone that I feel like I have to force into my line. Of course, with Embiid being back, he's not going to have as much attention on him like what he had with Embiid being out. So maybe this could be a spot for him to go off. Definitely could see this being a GPP option if you would rather go Maxey over Embiid, since maybe the masses might flock to Embiid since Embiid is back. Good matchup for him. Forget about Maxey. When you can come down and get the 2K savings, go to Maxey. Boom. Maxey goes off. Embiid has a floor game, and you're in the winner circle right there. I definitely can see the realm for that. That is definitely a possibility, but not something that I think I'm going to take a chance on today, but I definitely can see it. And then if you want some value, some savings, you definitely come out here and mess with Marcus Morris Sr. if he's going to be starting. If you want to believe that he's not old, dusted, crusted, and can be trusted, you can definitely go ahead and mess with it, but not something that I'm going to mess with too much right here. Going over to the San Antonio Spurs, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Let me see if Wemby still is on that minutes limit. I don't see anything saying in here, but I know Pop said that he was going to be limited in regards to his minutes for a little bit. So still, nonetheless, centers going up against the Memphis Grizzlies have actually done pretty well. And I do like the matchup for Wemby. I just really wish that we could get him off that limit. But every single center over like the last 7, 8, 10 something games, they have all gone out here and smashed. Literally smashed. I'm going to get an 8-5 Wemby. If I take a chance and maybe hope that he can get to 30 minutes, I might just mess with it because this is a really great spot for Wemby. They honestly have no one over there. I'm not scared of Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm not scared of Bismack Biyombo. I'm not scared of what's the other center? Tillman. None of those guys. Wemby already went out there against this team earlier back in November, 31 minutes, and dropped 60 fantasy points. That's what I'm saying. I really do want to play Wemby. I just really would hope that he actually could get the minutes. Like, that's the biggest thing for me. If you can tell me Wemby can go out here and get 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes. Now, I know he went out here going up against Portland. That was Portland, though. And he dropped 61 fantasy points in 24 minutes, which is a really great fantasy point per minute production. Still, his fantasy point per minute production is still pretty decent, even though he's playing on 24 minutes. The usage rate is there for him and everything. I might just take a stab at Wemby. Definitely really high on my GPP ladder in regards to a player that I want to play on today. Now, outside of that, if you want to take a stab at anyone else over here, maybe Branham, since he's still starting, 5K, decent value. Opposing guards, point guard, shooting guards, they've done pretty decent going up against the Memphis Grizzlies still, even with Ja being back and Marcus Smart being back inside the fold. But literally every single last opposing point guard has smashed. And if you can tell me he's going to go out there and play closer to his actual 30-ish minutes, I don't hate it, don't mind it. For the 5K, you're going to give me at least about 25 to 28 fantasy points. I can definitely mess with that. Trey Jones off the bench. I'm not gonna mess there at 5'3" when I have the actual starting point guard out there for 5K. I will rather go down and take that. And then Shem Petty, if you believe that his shot will fall, he is very much scoring dependent in regards to if he's gonna actually go out there and give you a good game. I do not like him. Don't like playing him. He will be in the starting lineup. Everyone else over here is all GPP plays, but I really do got a lot of interest in Wemby over there on that side. All right, going over to the not San Antonio Spurs, to the Memphis Grizzlies side. Like I already said, Ja is in a really great spot to be able to go off. We've seen legit opposing point guards smash this matchup going up against the San Antonio Spurs continuously. And John Morant, 9-7. This right here could, as stupid as it sounds, like just looking at all the games on the slate, as stupid as this sounds, Spurs versus Memphis. If the San Antonio Spurs can actually somehow keep this close. I'm not saying that Memphis are world beaters, which we know, even with Ja being back, they haven't been world beaters. If they can somehow keep this close, and you tell me Wemby could possibly get 28, give me 28, closer to 30 minutes, I can see where I stack this game. I can see it. I can say everyone else fading it, think it might be a blowout. Let's see, what's the spread on this one right now? San Antonio Spurs. It's a 12-point spread, of course, in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. Everyone else, their spreads. The second highest, oh God, the second spread that is just right up there with that is going to be the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Kings, and that's a 16-point spread, of course, in favor of the Kings. Outside of that, the highest total on the slate for some reason is my Thunder taking on Boston, which I don't. The second highest total is this game right here, the Spurs taking on Memphis. I really do feel like there's merit in possibly just stacking this game, even though everyone thinks it might blow out. You could. Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, maybe mess with Smart or Desmond Bane, one of those two plays right there. Running back with the favorite play over there on the other side in Wemby. I can see it. I can see it. 6-game slate. Dial in. Get your value from all these other games. You got the Golden State value that's over there on the slate. Chris Duarte in the starting lineup for the Kings going up against the Charlotte Hornets, which should be an easy no-brainer. If Najee Marshall still gets to get his minutes in a row with Trey Murphy being out, boom, you got your value right there too. I don't know. All right. Get back into it. John Morant, really great matchup. We've seen opposing point guards stay smashed. They're good. They're great. Letdown game last game going up against the Kings. Honestly, everybody let down in that game. Wasn't great. They got blown out. So don't hate, don't mind it. Jaren Jackson Jr., pretty good spot for him as well. Last time when he played going up against them, he played 27 minutes, dropped 37 fantasy points. Don't hate, don't mind it. 7,200 opposing power forwards. They've done pretty decent going up against them. All of them have had pretty decent games. So I definitely don't hate going there. Marcus Smart being back. Has played pretty decent. I want to say letdown game last game, of course, going up against the Kings. Everybody let down. 25 fantasy points. But outside of that, in the couple of games since he's been back, 30, 29, 34, 5-8, definitely would take a chance right there. Steal, block upside should be there for him. And then if he's pushing the pace and actually able to get some of his shots that he's looking for, I definitely don't hate or mind that for Smart over there. All right, Boston taking on my OKC Thunder. Of course, I'm going to be tuned in, eyes glued to the screen for this game. This right here is we're taking on the best team in the league currently right now, the Boston Celtics, going up against my Thunder. Really interesting to see how this is going to pan out. Of course, I'm going to say Kristaps Porzingis is going to be the favorite play. Opposing centers going up against the Thunder has been a thing. His rebounds, if he's actually out there snatching the boards, getting them down, should be a great spot. He's going up against a player pretty much like himself who will stretch the floor. So KP out on the perimeter, taking the shots. I will go ahead and take that all day, every day. Playmaking, all those things will be there for him. I really do like the upside for KP here. Now, matchup tells me that Jrue Holiday should have the better matchup. He is technically the starting point guard. If Jrue decides he wants to go out here and actually stroke it from three, get a couple assists like he can do, which sometimes he just doesn't, or he actually wants to rebound, things like that, this could be a very explosive spot for Jrue Holiday. Now, if you want to go with safety, I definitely understand paying up for Derek White, who we do know has a pretty safe floor of at least about 30-ish plus fantasy points on any given night, and plus he also has the steal and block upside as well. Now, when you're looking at it, of course, what are we going to do with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Let's see. Tatum probably is going to have to deal with the Jalen Williams defense, and Brown is probably going to have to deal with the Lou Dort defense. So, yeah, pretty good defensive matchups right there. I just don't think that I see myself paying up for either one of the Boston Twins right here in either one of them. I would much rather go to the auxiliary pieces in KP, Derek White, and a flyer on Jrue Holiday. That is literally how I see it and what I would probably go to. Going over here to the other side for my Thunder, looking at them, when I think about it, when I look at it, really do hope that we actually win this game. But outside of that, nobody truly grades out as a smash spot in play. This will definitely be a nitty-gritty game for them. If I want to take a flyer or anything, we already know these type of games, Shea, he does tend to step up. He's going to have to deal with the defense of Derek White and Jrue Holiday. Definitely going to be interested to see how he's going to do in regards to that matchup. Now, of course, the one time this was the first time I played Shea all season, was this game right here against Brooklyn. Went out here, only gave me 38 fantasy points. I definitely could see him bouncing back, getting closer to that 50. Possibly could be a game where they're going to need him to score. Probably was one of his lowest shot attempts of the season as well. So I don't mind going to Shea if you feel like he's going to be able to have to carry the team. Chet, I do like the matchup for him. Don't hate it. Not scared of Porzingis. But I will say, the first time that Chet goes up against a new center, he tends to not do as well. So I'm going to take the wait and see approach with him, since this will be the first time that he's actually going up against KP, who is a very good defender. This game going against Claxton, I ain't worried about that. Of course, his first time playing against Brooklyn, he smashed, because all centers pretty much smash. But Boston actually is very good at defending the center position with Al Horford and with KP there. So I'm going to take the wait and see approach. Someone I could take a flyer on, which I mentioned it last time. I'll take it again on Josh Giddey. This is starting to kind of seem to be a trend with him in his first 3 seasons in the league. That December time frame is when it starts to click for him, and he starts to get it, and he starts to actually play better and play like himself. So I'm gonna still ride the hot hand right now in Josh Giddey. I'm not gonna expect another 20-point performance or anything like that from him, but the rebounds, the assists, all the things that he normally does out there, I definitely will go ahead and take that. Be interesting to see who he defends and how he defends out there in this matchup. If he gets pulled or anything like that, we could possibly see more minutes for it in Isaiah Joe or Kason Wallace, or depending on defensive matchups, if they want to go with it, Kenrich Williams. The Thunder, I'm going to be very real. We're too deep in regards to me to try to figure out anything in regards to the backups or anything like that. Main play I probably would take over here is going to be Shea if I want the safety. You definitely can mess with Jalen Williams, but GPP aspect, Jason Tatum, a pretty decent defender. Wouldn't surprise me if he went off, but that's definitely just another GPP play. Nothing that that pops and sticks out. Now, one of the plays that does stick out to me is the fact that he's starting to get minutes and back into the rotation is going to be Meeseeks. If you want to take a chance right here in Meeseeks, thinking that he might get closer to his 15 minutes or something like that, they're starting to integrate him more into the game plans. I don't mind taking a stab there, but that's a deep GPP play if you want to mess with that and go there on the day. All right, Brooklyn taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. It's going to be short and sweet. I don't trust anybody over here for Brooklyn. I do not trust Brooklyn. Never really liked Brooklyn. Spencer Dinwiddie, Claxton, Bridges, Cam Thomas. Yeah, no, I don't trust nobody over here from the Brooklyn Nets. If you see a play over here that makes sense to you, definitely go ahead and take it. But I'll tell you right now, this is my fade team of the day. I am not messing with them at all whatsoever. Going over to New Orleans Pelicans, though, I will mess with this. For me, I do like Brandon Ingram. I think this is a pretty good spot for him going up out here. Has been playing pretty well over his last 5 games. 30 plus fantasy points on all of them. 8100. So decent spot. Definitely do feel like the upside could be there for him to drop 40 plus against this Brooklyn's team. Depending on what Zion decides to show up, if he wants to be ball hog, do it all Zion, or if he actually wants to just facilitate, grab the rebounds, things like that. Definitely don't mind going with BI here. And then depending on what CJ McCollum we actually get to come out here, but still to me, safest play is going to be Brandon Ingram. And then of course, if Trey Murphy does get ruled out, I really do like the upside that we can go with Najee Marsh. And then I know I spoke on Larry Nance last game, and I said it like he's back. He's 4,200 going up against the Brooklyn Nets, who we've attacked with opposing centers. You can go up here. You can play Joe Val. I don't hate Joe Val. Don't mind it. But look at the direct correlation to the fact that Larry Nance Jr. is back. And look at Jonas Valanciunas' minutes. Look at that correlation right there. Who are they favoring to be out there on the court? We got a 4,200 Larry Nance Jr. where the site hasn't picked up on that yet. And I don't see why. The dude's a rebound machine himself. He can go out there, yeah, as you can see, he can go get us a couple of assists here and there, but he can also go out there and score as well. And he has a 3-point shot. So Larry Nance Jr., I do like the upside for him as another value play. Is that's even with or without if Trey Murphy misses. But if you don't want to mess with that, you definitely can't go down here to Najee Marsh at 3.9. We know he'll see a little bit of uptick in regards to his minutes, so definitely something you can mess with. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm locking him in. Larry Nance Jr. That's my value play of the day. 4,200. And I'm telling you, direct correlation to Jonas. Direct correlation to the minutes. Right there, guys. So, yeah. All right, so the Hornets taking on the Kings. Depending on whether or not if Terry Rozier is going to actually be in or out. Illness. So this isn't updated. So, depending on whether or not if he's going to be in or out. If Terry is out, then, of course, we should see Bryson McGowan's, Ish Smith, all these guys are going to get boosted minutes. Ish, he started last game, 29 minutes, dropped 17.75 fantasy points. If you want to mess with that 4,300, I definitely think there's some other value you can get to on the slate. I probably would rather go to guys like Bryce McGowan, who should see decent role in regards to his minutes. Let me see. Brandon Miller, I'm pretty sure he played even though that game blew out. Yeah, 32 minutes. Maybe you take a chance on a Brandon Miller, who should see the minutes to run since he's a rookie. And then Nick Smith Jr., I know that he played pretty decently, 19 minutes last night. So these would be the players that I would probably rather take a chance on, if anything, in regards to minutes-wise. Outside of that, I'm not going to really mess with too much over here. If Terry was to miss, I would expect this game possibly to be a blowout anyway. So Brandon Miller, I know he's 6,700. It's a bit much, but rookie, he's going to play the minutes. He's going to get the burn. They're going to go ahead and play him. Now, on the other side of things, if we are going to predict a blowout, which it is a 16-point spread, I know we're not in the realm and possibility to try to predict blowouts, but Sabonis technically has the best matchup out of everybody on the daggone slate. Last night, I don't know what happened. The Joker didn't really take advantage of it. I guess because since he is on a stacked team, he doesn't have to, things of that nature. But it would be nice if he actually would just go ahead and do it sometimes. But Simone Dog, definitely smash spot for him. Definitely see him at least probably getting about 15, 20 something rebounds again. The playmaking, those assists, definitely he gets more assists at home anyway. Definitely plays up better at home, especially the playmaking wise. I know he can go out there and score. I could definitely see a triple double in the realm for the Bone Dog here on today's slate. So really do like the upside for him there. Malik Monk off the bench freaking killed it, and that was only in 21 minutes. God dang, 21 minutes. Boy dropped 27 points in 21 minutes. Good God. Yeah, I do like Malik Monk, and if you guys don't know, Malik Monk, he used to play for the Charlotte Hornets, so a bit of a revenge narrative if you want to go there on that right there for him. But 6,100, I'm not going to say that it's a smash spot, smash play, but definitely Malik Monk, the usage off the bench. And then I will go right back to Chris Duarte. I know he's in the starting lineup, 20 plus minutes. Let's say he knocks down a couple more of these shots that he actually took. Maybe he can do something in this area, getting us some more blocks and steals. But 4,000, that's value right there on today's slate, especially going up against the Charlotte Hornets, who's going to be a weak team. Definitely some players missing, so I really do like the upside there for Chris Duarte at the 4K. So there goes the value right there. If, like I said, trying to stack this San Antonio-Memphis game, I already got some value right here with Larry Nance. Maybe I'll take the second value right there, and then starting Chris Duarte, definitely something that you can go to right there nonetheless. All right. Going over to Orlando, taking on the Golden State Warriors. Honestly, it's going to be Paolo if I take anything from over there. The dude's been playing lights out over the last couple of games, 40 plus fantasy points in the last 5 games. The usage, all that stuff's going to be there. No Jeremiah Green out there on defense. You're going to be dealing with Kuminga, who we know can get into foul trouble. So I definitely will take the upsides for Paolo right here. Same thing for Franz. Not scared of Klay Thompson defense. That's nothing to worry about. 30 plus fantasy points in all of his last 5 games. So it's really just this 1-2 punch right here. I really do have a lot of like in the upside for in both of those guys right there. The guard situation rotation, like I said, with everyone coming back, with Fultz coming back and just all that other stuff, I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna go too deep right there. And plus the prices, not nothing that just is that makes you want to get there. On the other side though, especially for the fact that I can get a starting Chris Paul at 5,600, who's going to go out there and he's going to play at least 30 minutes. The playmaking, the scoring, all that stuff is going to be there for him. And then, I mean, if he's not going to get done with scoring, he will go out there and get us those assists. The matchup isn't the greatest going up against the Magic because they do actually defend opposing guards pretty well. But I will say for a fact, Chris Paul, I do like him, especially at the 5,600 price tag. You kind of can't beat that for a starting Chris Paul, a starting point guard at his caliber. And then Steph Curry, if he gets it hot and flowing from deep, from 3, definitely another player I don't mind at 8.8. Like, how often do we ever see Steph Curry 8.8? It's rare. It's very rare that we see something like that. I don't see any reason to go up here and go pay for Pod, especially at the 6K price tag. Yes, he's going out there. He's still dropping 30 plus fantasy points, at least still seeing 30 minutes out there. But at the 6K price tag, say 400, come down to Chris Paul. That makes sense to me. Or take the 5K, you come down here to Kuminga. It's a decent matchup for him on the other side. Like I said, as long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble and he doesn't make any boneheaded decisions in regards to turnovers, he plays a pretty decent menace and a decent role. Now, I will say with Tracy Jackson Davis, I think with him out there starting, I think those rebounds might go down a little bit for what Kuminga can get. And I do like Tracy Jackson Davis at the 4.6 price tag, but I already have one value center who is a little bit cheaper than TJD, so I don't mind it. Now, if you want to pivot, if you think Larry Nance is going to be very much highly owned, then you could definitely come down to Tracy. But right now, Tracy is projected for a 31, 32 ownership, and then looking at Larry Nance, he's projected for a 2% ownership currently right now. So that means people really haven't caught on to the Larry Nance train in regards to, hey, he's back. The dude's playing 20 plus minutes a game. He's cutting directly into Vooch's minutes. I'm not Vooch, I'm sorry, directly into Jonas Valanciunas' minutes. I just see the upside. I think that we might have found a gem right here. So really, hopefully this pans out and really does pay dividends right there going with him. All right, guys, that's going to be a breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and start working on props, get that up for you guys. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the content. If you're looking for my player pool, my course, and the prop plays and everything, besides what I put out in the YouTube video, check the link down in the description below so you guys can go ahead and join us on the Patreon. We are back on Patreon. We're no longer on Dub Club. So if you're looking for all the content, everything, it will be up on the Patreon. So definitely go check us out over there. hopefully you guys do cash out. You guys have a good day. Let me know, what is your value play? What do you guys think about the Larry Nance Jr. play? I really do feel like I found something pretty good on today's slate that might help us in regards to building a nice lineup on the slate altogether. Like, I really am very high on this play right now. So hopefully you guys cash out. Peace.